and welcome to The Verdict. I'm Riley Beveridge, and joining me as he does every Monday afternoon is Match Review Officer Michael Christian. Chriso, how are you doing today?
Very well, Riley.
Let's get straight into it, and we'll take you back to Thursday night because this was the controversial one. Mason Cox offered a one-match ban for this bump on Dylan Grimes. Were you satisfied with the intent to bump as opposed to it being careless?
Well, I think the interesting thing is that Mason intended to commit a reportable offence because, as you can see, the ball's some 35 metres away. Now, we know that you're allowed to bump within 5 metres of the ball, but when you elect to bump 30-odd metres off the ball, then it becomes intentional. You can see Mason just making ground here and taking 3 steps to make contact with Dylan. So, yeah, certainly satisfied that it was an intentional action.
And there's been a lot of conjecture this week around whether or not it was to the body or to the head. What made you satisfied that it was high impact?
Well, high contact.
High contact,
yeah. Watching the vision, we're able to look at all the different angles and slow the vision down, and we were satisfied that the point of, or just near the point of Mason's shoulder, was made contact with Dylan Grimes' head. So that's why it was graded high. And that was reinforced, I should say, by the medical report from Richmond. Of course, this is going to the tribunal, Mason Cox, so that outcome will occur tomorrow night.
It will. So he'll take that to the tribunal. He'll challenge that one. Moving on, Jack Steele, he was offered a $2,000 fine for rough conduct on Jake Stringer. I'm assuming this hinged on the impact?
Yeah, it did. Clearly an intentional action. It was a stop play and Jack Steele ran into the back of Jake Stringer, and then it came down to impact. And as I mentioned last week, the 3 things we look at when we talk about impact is the visual look of the blow, the player reaction and the medical report. And throwing all those things, satisfied that it was low impact.
Dean Kent, he was fined $3,000 for this incident. Is this not just a genuine attempt to spoil?
Well, no. Interesting with the spoils is we look at a number of things in terms of certainly the actual action, and felt that Dean's round arm action here was not a genuine attempt to spoil, and he was also late on the contest as well. So felt it fell into the careless category, and then it was a question of enough impact to get to low, which it was. So careless, low, high.
Jarman Impey and Billy Gowers were both fined for striking following this little confrontation in the second quarter of Sunday's clash. Can you talk us through these incidents?
Well, you can see here there's a push there from Billy, and then Jarman hits Billy twice, and then there's a response from Billy. So something we don't want to see in the game. A free kick was paid correctly to Billy Gowers, but at the end of it, felt that there were clear striking actions by both players.
I guess the question to stem from this, and we're about to see 2 more incidents over the weekend. One was involving Touk Miller and one was involving Cam Rayner. The difference between those ones and these ones, and why Gowers and Impey were both fined and these were let off.
Well, each incident is looked in isolation. So with this particular incident with Touk Miller, certainly consideration was given as to whether it was a strike or a push. And in the end, we fell into the category that it was a push by Miller on Brad Hill and not a strike.
Well, Michael, thank you for your time on The Verdict, brought to you by Morris Blackburn. And don't forget, for all of the latest match review news, keep clicking back to afl.com.au and the AFL Live app.